It's Ron Goodall from FightHype.com. I'm here with the absolute phenom, or they say the Superman, and now H2O, Ashton Sylve. How's it going?
It was good, good. It's dope that you kind of remember
I mean, look,
the
it's hard to
OG.
forget the guy who Mayweather wanted to sign and Oscar De La Hoya wanted to sign, but you made the big signing with MVP Promotions, and it's showing dividends. You got to fight on the big pay-per-view card, on the Anderson Silva, and now you're headlining this Friday on May 26th in Florida. Just talk about this whole experience and the whole signing with MVP and how much has it been for you?
So far it's been pretty dope. I feel like majority of the things I accomplished and did, it was on my plan. I didn't honestly didn't want to wait till I'm like 15 fights in to finally, co-main a pay-per-view fight. I felt like I was ready as if when I had a pro debut. So it's been dope to kind of see like, some of my dreams come true.
At such a young age, a lot of guys, from like Devin Haney's, the Javantes, the Shakors, they got a lot of attention, and then they proved to be that guy. And it seems like that momentum of anointing the next guys has been you. Just what's that like? And do you feel any type of pressure, the fact that everyone's starting to kind of notice you already? And do you have to feel like you have to live to that expectation to perform so quickly?
No, honestly, no. I feel like you said, like my name's been getting called since Floyd and Oscar's been wanting me. So I feel like I'm kind of just going through the same motion again and not really starting over, but building my name even more. So where the big fights and big names are actually seeing and talking about me as well. So I'm just kind of, just taking it step by step and trying to put on a great performance every time. So I'm being more notarized every fight.
You went viral last fight, not just being on a big card, the ring walk, the outfit, and the performance. You took a huge step in opposition and outperformed that barometer that people were like, all right, well, Ryan Garcia took him out, one of your good friends, in this many rounds, and you got him out in one round. So just talk about the level of competition in this fight and just, this opponent's tough. From what I know, Abdullah Mason wasn't able to stop him. Charlie Sheehy wasn't able to stop him. Two top-ranked top prospects he went the distance. So do you feel like you have to not just compete with the performance you had last, but the performance with other, top prospects that are coming in the game in this fight?
Low key, yeah, I feel like I have to put on a better performance. And then, all of them, whoever faced them, I feel like every time I step around, I feel like I have to be that guy that when they ask who was the hardest fight for that opponent, and they say my name. So that's what I feel like every fight. So, and I feel like that's bound to happen. Me going in there, and just being me as per usual.
And seeing that throughout the weeks, there's been some footage that has been circulated out. We all know you sparred Shawn Porter, but we actually seen clips and not just clips, but it's a good chunk of that sparring session. And a lot of people noticed your abilities against not just one, but a two-time welterweight champion. I seen a little bit online. It seemed like there was a little back and forth and things like that, but just kind of wanted to come circle on that situation if we could.
Um, so for the most part, so my dad and my team basically, I guess, heard an interview that was going on our podcast and what was being said, and for the most part, it was just more so like, you know, he's out of the game. I'm more so on the rise, and for someone like him to kind of like try to bring me down, and like he didn't have to go about it that way, but try to bring me down. And I mean, I guess you could say humble me in a way which it was no humbling to be done. Uh, so that's what it went about. It was kind of like just a weird thing to do. So it was like, okay, like since you kind of want to just go ahead and go about that, we have time on our hands. Uh, so then that's what happened right there. I mean, now everybody else get to see since my name was being talked about. So now, everybody get to see if I was being taught a lesson or who was to be one.
And we get to see, Friday coming up, more of that razzle dazzle. And just, my few questions that I have left is that After, May 26th, hopefully that maybe we can maybe see you sneak on that August 5th card if it's not, too close. But Jake
Mm-hmm.
Paul is going to be, facing Nate Diaz. You've been around Jake. How does that fight go about? And just what's your overall prediction on how that goes?
So my overall prediction, I feel like Jake, wins. I don't know by knockout because I mean Nate is a tough person, but I mean he's never had like a professional punch. And a majority of MMA fighters that go and fight the ring, the boxing ring, and a boxing match. It seems like it's a total different fight from. They don't have that they haven't mastered, a boxing, mastered fighting with these. They have, kicks and submissions and everything else like that, but they haven't really focused on using their hands. So the punch is not as effective in MMA community. But when you step in the boxing ring, this is all kind of we know. So I don't know if it's going to end in a knockout because he never felt one of those punches before, or he's just going to be like kind of a brutal beating. But we all know Nate's a dog, so we all know how that might go.
It's the West Coast, right? Long Beach. Oh
Right,
no, on the
right.
West side. And seeing that since this weight class is starting to kind of that you're in is starting to gonna change faces with you entering and people leaving. But just the fight that just happened a few days ago with Devin Haney and Lomachenko, a lot of people had controversy in their mind first, but then over time people have kind of like changed their tunes. And what's your thoughts originally, and is it still the same?
Originally, I thought Loma won. I thought it was a close fight. Honestly, I thought Loma won as a close fight, but it was like he won by 1 or 2 rounds, and who knows if like the earlier rounds may have been Devin's win. So that's might have been why a lot of people later on started to kind of change their mind because when you rewatch a fight and actually become like a judge and tally up the rounds, it kind of becomes differently. Um, because when you're watching a fight, you're just going off the top of your head, like who do you thought overall just won the fight? Like in summary of the fight, they Loma must have well Loma did pick it up towards the end of the round, so that's the last thing you remember of him, like Loma's controlling the fight. Which I thought the whole fight, honestly, I thought Loma did control the fight. It was probably a few rounds that Devin won, but I still felt as Loma was in control. Even like it just you could see that Loma took off rounds, um, but like I said, you have to kind of just go back and rewatch the fight and actually um, actually count the rounds. And I mean, you have your real opinion on the fight.
Awesome. Well, coming up May 26th, should be no opinion because at the end of the day, the goal is to get them out and make it dominant like your last fight. So
Right,
I
facts.
appreciate the time. Any last messages for the fans out there on FightHype and where they can find you on social media?
For one, thank you for having me, and for the fans, thank you for supporting me. It's been a pretty long journey since I was 16 years old. Even before that, like for example, you knowing the Superman side of everything, it's been a long journey, and I feel like I wouldn't be in this position right now if I headlining a fight without the support of the fans. So thank you to everybody about that.
And everyone, make sure you tune in on DAZN this May 26th. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, see you soon.